Today is Earth Day, and there's no greater issue for us and the planet than climate change. 2017, 2016, and 2015 were the hottest 3 years on record. But a little known thing about climate change is that despite it conjuring images of Leonardo DiCaprio driving a Prius or Al Gore hauling around a PowerPoint, the hardest and fastest impacts of climate change are falling on people of color around the world and in the United States. Just look at the lingering devastation of Hurricanes Katrina, Sandy, Irma, Maria, and Harvey, you name it. Now, those were dramatic events, but here to talk to us about slower moving ones, namely the relationship between gentrification and climate change, is Caroline Lewis, Executive Director of the Cleo Institute based in Miami. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, climate change is a reality for all communities in Miami already. Can you tell us what some of those daily realities are, like the sunny day flooding and other things?
Right, so in Miami, Florida, which is a very flat peninsula, the highest ground is about 15 or 16 feet above sea level. So what we have happening in Miami right now with the porous limestone bedrock is saltwater intrusion, eroding coasts. The ocean is actually encroaching, and we have sunny day flooding with the ocean water actually coming up through the drains that are meant to take away storm water and flooding the roads. Unfortunately, there's health concerns about this water because it's high in nutrient value, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. And in what ways is the growing flooding in low-lying areas that are a lot of where wealthy neighborhoods are located, how is that causing certain neighborhoods to shift? What's happening specifically in the Little Haiti neighborhood and why?
So what's happening is those in the low-lying areas are getting accustomed to tidal flooding, which happens 6 to 10 times a year in the spring and in the fall. Those on Miami Beach that have a big tax base are lucky to have the water being pumped out by very expensive pumps.
Wow.
So it's not a problem that much right now. However, you have low-lying areas in less wealthy neighborhoods. They don't have that luxury, and therefore that salt water is there, eroding the base of their cars and causing problem. When you move to Little Haiti and Liberty City, which are predominantly underserved communities, those are in high ground. They were on the railroad tracks and the ridge in Miami-Dade County. Mm-hmm. So that was undesirable land back when. But seeing that they're on high elevations of 14, 15, 16 feet now, there seems to be some predatory takeover by developers of those properties. A lot of it is anecdotal right now. Developers are claiming that they're not looking at elevation levels for their purchases. But mapping the recent purchases, it's showing a tremendous correlation between high ground and underserved areas and predatory developers trying to buy up that land.
What are some of the answers that you're looking for and piloting? Because I'm sure that what is experiencing there is going to be experienced elsewhere. That is to say, places that are in lower lying areas become undesirable. Places that are higher and may once upon a time been undesirable are now where people want to live. What are you doing to counteract that, and how could it be a model for other places?
Well, what we're doing is trying to work with the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County to make sure that the most vulnerable populations that fall behind on taxes aren't feeling pressured to sell prematurely or evicted by landlords so that they can redevelop the land. We're trying to create safety nets. People without safety nets is what we're doing. So the idea that Hurricane Irma did not even hit us, but we had tremendous damage. People went several days without work. The people living on the high ground now, they, in rental properties or in owned properties, sort of feel the pressure. The public record indicates to developers who is in foreclosure, who's falling behind on taxes, and they feel pretty vulnerable in terms of being coerced to move out.
Wow. Well, thank you for coming on and letting us know about this issue, actually this intersection of gentrification and climate change, which isn't apparent but does make sense in the way that you lay it out, and also just highlighting the ways in which we can counteract that, but specifically by trying to provide a safety net and letting people know what their rights are. letting people know what their rights are as renters, as people in places that don't have information, just using that as a weapon to be able to counteract and maintain their homes in the face of this pressure. Thank you, Caroline, for taking the time to join us today and to talk about the ways in which we can counteract this intersection between gentrification and climate change. For more information about Caroline, the Cleo Institute, and climate change, please visit us at thelaststep.org and click on How to Help. We'll be right back.